Thank you for listening. And I won't just see you in the verse, but I'll see you in a denser verse.
In a dance server. Nice. That was cool. That was cool. There was no rain, though.
However,
Ah.
this was only the first phase of civilization.
Ah.
Let me introduce you to the stage, the person who will introduce life at these locations, Francesco Raccucci.
Oh, we haven't seen Francesco in a long time.
So, hi everybody.
Oh, hello there.
Benvenuti a Citizencon.
We're gonna see the NPCs.
So,
NPCs, traffic.
where are we today? So, my name is Francesco Cucci, and I'm the director in CIG. Welcome to the next step of Phase 3. We will look into how life adapts to the laws of nature and how all the NPCs can interact pretty much with these incredibly vast and dense worlds that we just saw. So up to this point,
yeah,
we have seen how we are
NPCs.
building the worlds. We start from the physical data set.
Oh, they're showing
and
us
this is
those
to make sure that what you see is
those
not
big
just
forests
beautiful and
again. Oh
realistic,
man.
but also physically accurate.
I told you
So
before,
distribution
guys,
of
we're
the
gonna see
elements
Terra
that
at the
we've seen and the
Citizencon.
location and the
For
POIs
sure. For
are
sure we're gonna see
influenced by
Terra.
geology, mission, narrative, and the lore. Those locations cannot be lifeless. We want the planets to basically leverage the space that emerged with life. So from an AI perspective, I will categorize the elements of those worlds into 4 macro groups. Emergent environment, that is everything we have just seen being built out of the physical data set.
Okay.
Users-made locations. So this includes everything that our designers or
Yeah,
new
so that's
players
the
create
handcrafted
in the
stuff.
world. So something that is mankind-made and not predefined in the environment. Interior of those locations.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
this is very gonna
Building
keep the
interiors. Yeah,
biggest
they talked
point.
about it a
The
while
difference is
back.
that we represent usually a confined space where there is much more tight interaction, and for NPCs,
That can be
it's a lot
procedurally made.
about interaction with objects that we are usually used to in our everyday lives. And then the day and night cycle. So in essence, the passage of time. That so far didn't have really a lot of impact on the gameplay. So to allow life to respect this world and conform to the rules that this environment defines, well, we want to improve our tools and workflow, and we want to distance ourselves as much as possible from a designer-driven approach. This is because first, it's
time-consuming.
it can be prone to bugs, but also because the scale of the worlds that we've just seen are very hard to be.
Right, you're not gonna make
designer-driven
3,042
and markup.
locations
So we want
by
to
hand,
improve-
obviously.
To improve this workflow, and we will see how manual markup is also not usually the best option, because with these worlds that are heavily impacted by users and changes and customization, it's very hard to know in advance where interesting things are. So today I want to show you a couple of examples of what the IT team has been focusing on to make these systems supported and scale correctly to support this vastly dense dynamic world.
Yo, Stimpy, how's it
So
going,
we'll look
man?
at perception in light and dark environments and dynamic cover generation. So, attacking an outpost now must have a
There's a
level
little
of depth
farm
that
in the
goes
forest.
beyond what we had. So layouts of the environment can change. Vehicles may or may not be present. NPC can be anywhere. And
Okay,
if it's
here
a
they
dark
are.
Day, well, we will be more visible, but our enemies will also be more visible.
Oh, it's
And
almost
if you
7
choose to
p.m.
attack
here,
at
man. Need
nighttime,
coffee too.
Well, we'll attack in shadows during darkness. It's going to be a bit harder to see our enemies, but we will also be harder to be spotted. And it will give us more opportunities to be stealthy and sneaky. How do we do that? So as you see, there is also a lot of different light conditions in this outpost.
Oh, we can hear the Copians. Oh, there they are. Also, they're using the same architecture as in Pyro there, okay?
So in this scenario, we will start look at how perception is impacted by the day and night cycle. On the planetary surface, as we've seen in the outpost, natural and artificial lights are the 2 elements that will impact vision. And knowing that, you can use this to leverage your gameplay style.
Yeah, it's something that we
You
can do already on
exploit basically
Hurston.
the old environment.
If you
So
play
what is perception? On the NPC
Jump Town
level
on
is the
Hurston,
combination
you can
of
already
data
do that
we
and use the
collect out of the
nighttime for your
senses.
advantage.
And vision is one of the sense and just tries to, in a way, simulates the human side ability. So designers can already tweak the perception in different ways, and one way is defining how quickly NPCs can understand what they are seeing. And the light condition have a direct impact how quickly an NPC will fully understand, for example, if there is an hostile in front of them. And obviously, there is condition of light that designers can control, and some others, like the day-night cycle, that they can't. So in this video, we'll see
you,
two
Diplo.
main elements. The graph on the top left and the two colorful cones. The graph on the left basically represents the current light level the NPC is in, and the current multiplier this light level generates to speed up or slow down the NPC perception and understanding.
Well, they didn't show the
cones
coping
instead
though.
represents the primary and secondary FOV. The red color means that if you stand in that location, it will result in NPC reacting the slowest to you, and the green color instead represents the quickest response.
Okay.
So during the night,
What about the
NPC
red?
will have a hard time to understand and foresee and see
Oh, so they
things.
only
But
see
if
well
they
what's
have
in front.
flashlights on their helmets, they can turn it
Oh.
on, and this will impact their primary FOV, making still the peripheral vision a bit more uncertain. And as you see here, first of all, the NPC is patrolling with his domesticated friendly copion. This is because he wants to exploit the night vision capabilities of the animal, and it's kind of our tier 0 pets.
Tier
So
0
we'll
pets,
now look at the cover system,
which was
that is the next
a stretch goal
dynamic
from a
pixel
long
I'll
time
show you.
ago.
So when we introduced planetary navigation mesh the first time, our
Yep.
goal was really
It's a stretch
to
goal,
create
Graf.
systems that would support and process the environment in a very dynamic way. Our planets are just way too big to statically export them and process them, first of all. And then their regions only exist when somebody's there and the NPCs are there. So essentially, environment has its purpose only when life exists. Also, let's keep in mind that
Zero is here. How are you doing, Zero?
Zero? And statically, those planets, so processing
Don't
them
jog
actually all
today,
a
Zio.
static version of the
Cancel
planet.
your jog.
This would be, first of all, wasteful and on the
You can jog
random
during
side
the
and
cosplay
time-consuming.
event.
And also because we have a lot of runtime modification of the terrain, this would require us to still reparse it at runtime, and pretty much that will be almost all.
I'll be having
So to generate
lunch
the
during the
data, we want to
cosplay event,
leverage the
probably.
navigation mesh system. And what we do is, as you see here, the blue polygons are basically where NPCs can walk, and the green ones are what we call cover surfaces, that are our simple representation of the environment, what NPC uses to understand if they can hide behind something, and if they can
Oh,
shoot
so they're gonna be
from
hiding
some
behind the green
position.
thing.
So up to now, we have an approach where designer would be a designer-driven approach. Designer can define in the locations where cover was interesting. They could mark it up, either the location itself or prefabs. And then with a special entity that would just sample dynamically the environment, but would still be designer-driven. This is obviously a good
Just a
approach
quick one,
for-
Zero.
it's also a standard
That's
approach
what
in
she
the
said.
industry. But what about all those organic and inorganic elements that get
I had to
scattered
say
in
that
the
while
system?
Diplo was still
Like
here
if
and
designers
Gruff.
wants to iterate on these ones, for example, and they want to change the physical data sets.
I'm
those
surprised.
scattered
I'm
into
surprised
it
Gruff
will
has
just
not beaten
change
me to
completely
that.
the layout. And what we want is that designers can do this change without being afraid of doing it, because the gameplay was, predefined and controlled, and now they can just make something beautiful but also fun. Besides that, yes, we did have a prefab approach where you can build stuff out of small building blocks. This is obviously a good
Okay.
approach because it's
Building blocks for that.
in a way, you can build stuff out of smaller version, but this creates a lot of unnecessary.
You knew someone would say
Makes it a crate, and we can
that.
say that the crate can generate cover. Now we stack 100 crates, and what happens? That we have a lot of data to generate cover that we have to process, throw away. This would just waste CPU cycles for nothing. This is why, until now, you also couldn't fight an NPC in a forest like this one and see them hiding behind a tree or a rock. So enabling the dynamic generation of
Wait,
covers on the
Stimpy,
planet
you are
allows us
Diplo?
to exploit all the elements of the environment. Whenever navigation mesh generates, NPC can now have a chance to fight with you hiding behind available elements. Boulders, rock, walls, and are all useful elements right now. However, we don't have to limit ourselves to static geometries, but also vehicles can be used for cover. And as you can see, this is dynamically
Stimpy is not
generating
Diplo.
while the vehicle moves.
Oh.
So be careful where you park your Ursa, because now it can become a source of danger for you as well. Last but not least, these systems can be just used on all the different type of navigation.
Oh, that's
mesh
so
we have,
cool that
not
they
on
can
the
now use
planet,
the vehicle
but
to
also, for
hide
example, the
behind.
interiors
Oh,
and
wow.
everything you guys construct. Because obviously, you guys will build your own locations.
Yes.
But you don't really mark up stuff, or you don't want to decide that, because that's going to come automatically out of the system. So I want to show you.
Oh, Oh yeah, well, there's Twitch on phone.
So what I want to show you now is just like a little bit of insight of what goes behind the scene when we generate cover and navigation mesh. These are some of the steps that our system does. So we always start from the environment voxelization. What that means is we process the geometry, the physical representation of the geometries, that is a little bit simpler than usually the render mesh, and we construct it in a voxelized approach. This is also using different types of agent definition. Why so? Because obviously where a human can move is not the same as where a vehicle can move. So we can define different type of precisions and then speeding up the process where we have to, or be more precise where we cannot be to. And we can also create overrides based on different things. For example, if you crouch, you can enter into smaller locations than where you stand.
Oh, maybe like a little cave.
This process is basically common between navigation mesh and cover. After that is generated, then we can evaluate the voxel in different ways. For example, defining where we can walk. So can we make the step with our foot over a specific voxel? Or is there something in front of that hole in the nav mesh so that we can actually cover behind? And then we can basically decide where to generate cover surfaces. And after the cover surfaces are generated, we can process where the cover locations are. Cover locations are a good spot for NPC to be behind the cover.
Oh,
So
we
what
can
see
see that in
here
first
is
person.
the
Okay.
introduction of Maelstrom last year.
Yes.
Obviously, we knew this would revolutionize how you guys are playing. And we did have to find a solution to handle all the destruction. So you would destroy so much stuff.
Oh
in this
yeah,
world
you can
we
see
had to
that
find a
the
solution,
cover
right?
thing is being destroyed.
So this is why we approach the cover generation navigation mesh as it is, because there is just no way for us to predict anything that you
Oh,
are
how
doing,
is-
and we
what is
want
that
just
grenade going to
Maelstrom
destroy?
to be another trigger for word evaluation. So as you see, this is all dynamically generating.
That grenade is blowing shit up.
And destroying
Oh my.
anything just makes the war be reevaluated. So, as you see here, we can have also lots of rules. So you can see that a bit here. But when things break, first they invalidate, and then when they rest, for example, we can decide when is a good moment to regenerate, so that we also don't waste too much CPU cycles. The color that you see is mostly cover quality. So you see the light green is high cover, the dark green is low cover, and then we have the red that we introduced.
There's
some
no
time ago
cover, right?
That is basically not really good cover, but if there is nothing better, well, it's better to be behind something than being, in open space.
Oh, okay.
So let's just recap. What we want to do is finding a plan and having a good plan to approach life in this vast universe.
So
What
making
we
it
want
dynamic
is
for
the
fighting
life
or
to
just
be able to
NPCs leaving.
systemically evaluate all the dynamic environments that is generated. We want to improve our workflow, not only to support designers and being faster, but also support all your guys' creations. So we want
For-
the life
when we
to
talk about
adapt,
creation, he
and
talks about
this is all
bases,
for
right?
making the game fun for you, so that everything comes together.
Man, Star Citizen is
So,
going to
thank you
change
all.
so much.
This was phase 3. And now, let's welcome Ben Parry, that will introduce you guys to phase 4 of Genesis.
Oh, we haven't seen Ben Parry in a long time.